welcome to our section 8.3 lecture video, where we continue looking at the metric system, and specifically we're looking at capacity and mass. Capacity, that's another word for volume, okay? And mass, we usually think about it as weight, but mass is like how much of something, how much stuff there is in something, okay? Not counting for gravity. So, the base unit of capacity or volume in the metric system is the liter. And we have the exact same prefixes as we did before. We can have kiloliters, which would be 1,000 liters, hectoliters, which would be 100 liters, decaliters, which would be 10 liters, just a plain liter, which is the base unit. Then this, on the smaller side, we have deciliters, which is 1/10 of a liter, centiliters, which is 1/100th of a liter, and milliliters, which is 1/1000th of a liter, okay? So just to kind of get those into your brain of how much are these different things, a kiloliter is quite big, as you can imagine. So this would be like, if you filled 3 bathtubs, that's about a kiloliter. Like standard size bathtubs, okay? So if you filled 3 standard size bathtubs full of water, that's about a kiloliter, okay? So not quite a swimming pool, but still quite a bit. It's maybe like a hot tub, okay? A liter, you guys have seen liters before because you buy 2-liter sodas every now and then. So if you think of a 2-liter soda that you would buy at the store, a liter would just be half of that. So I'm just going to say it's half of a 2-liter bottle of soda that you buy at the store. Okay? A milliliter is quite small, as you can imagine. If you think about, your half of a 2-liter soda and then splitting that into 1,000 little pieces, each one's going to be quite small. So a milliliter is about a large drop of water. Okay, so if you're thinking about it and think about large raindrops, that's about a milliliter each raindrop. Okay? So let's talk about mass, or if we think about it as weight, they do mass. So mass doesn't have gravity in it, but it's the same idea, okay? So mass in the metric system is measured with the gram, which is usually with a lowercase g. So again, we have grams as our base unit. We have kilograms, which would be 1,000 grams, hectograms, which would be 100 grams, decagrams, which is 10 grams, decigrams, which is 1/10 of a gram, centigrams, which is 1/100th of a gram, and milligrams, which is 1/1000th of a gram. Okay? So just giving you guys some ideas of how big these things are. A gram is actually pretty small. A gram is about the mass of a paperclip. And so a kilogram is, if you thought about 1,000 paper clips, that's how big they are. But if you want to just think of like one something, it's about the mass of like a honeydew melon. So if you went to the grocery store and you were going to buy a honeydew or like a cantaloupe, that's about a kilogram in mass, okay? Okay? So if a gram was tiny, that's about a paperclip. A milligram is even tinier, because that's 1/1000th of a paperclip. So it's about the mass of a really small feather. So it's very, very light. Alright, so with all of that in mind, we're going to choose the most appropriate metric unit for each blank, and think about, what kind of units you would use for these things, okay? So the first one says the glass held 300 blank of water. So the first thing I would think of is that mass or is that capacity volume? If it's talking about how much a glass is holding, that's going to be volume. So we're looking at one of the liters. So am I looking at a milliliter, liter, or kiloliter for this one? So remember that A kiloliter would be, that'd be like 900 bathtubs. I don't think that's fitting in a glass. Liter, think about how large those are. Think about, that would be what? 150 sodas completely full inside your glass. I think that's a bit big as well. Milliliters would be like 100 drops. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. I think that could fit inside of a glass. So that would make sense to use milliliters for that. B, a little boy weighs 22 blank. So are we looking at liters or grams for this one? Talking about weight, which relates to mass. So we should be in grams for this one. And so is this little boy 22 feathers, 22 paper clips, or 22 honeydew melons? I think he's going to be a lot closer to the honeydew melons. I don't think that he's 22 paper clips would do it for a boy. So this would be kilograms, and most people's weight, they do it in kilograms because 22,000 grams just sounds too large and makes people feel uncomfortable. 22 kilograms is a nicer number for a lot of people. Okay? Let's see, part C says a running shoe weighs 270 blank. So are we looking at grams or kilograms if it's talking about weight? We're doing grams again. So let's see, a running shoe weighs 270 blank. Would it be 70 small feathers? That's a really light shoe. 270 paper clips? That seems pretty reasonable for a shoe. 270 honeydew melons would be very, very heavy. Probably a poor choice. So let's go with the paper clips. So that would be 270 grams. Last one I have here says a pot held 7 blanks of chili. So if I'm thinking about a chili pot and how much it's holding, I'm looking at grams or liters? Looking at liters. So then is it a milliliter, liter, or kiloliter? So if we're looking at kiloliters, that's like we're talking about bathtubs full of chili. That's more than a pot would hold. Liters, so if you think about like half of a 2 liter of soda, so that would be like 3.5, 7 would be like 3.5 sodas. That actually should fit in a larger pot. That makes some sense. 7 drops of chili would not be enough for anybody to have a meal. So I'm going to go with liters on that one. Okay, so hopefully this helps you guys kind of navigate through these. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is lots of unit conversions, okay? So we're going to convert each unit of measurement in the metric system. And we are going to do this the exact same way we did it in 8.2. So we're going to start out with King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. In the first one, I'm going from centigrams, that's the C, to just regular grams, that's my base unit. And I'm drawing an arrow because I'm going from the centigrams to the base unit. That means I'm going to the left 1, 2 spaces. So here's my decimal. If you don't have a decimal, if it's a regular integer, it's after the number, okay? So this is 42.0, and there's lots of zeros that would keep going. But here's our decimal place. We're going to go to the left 1, 2 spaces. So this would be 0.42 grams. The next one, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. We're going from milligrams, that's the M, to decagrams. So decagrams is the larger of the D's. There's 2 of them. There's decigrams, that's the smaller one, and deca, that's the larger one. So we're actually going all the way over here. We're still going to go to the left, but 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces this time. So this is my decimal. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to the left. All these little blank ones are going to be zeros. So this is 0.1234 zeros, 56 decagrams. Okay? Let's do another one, and I'm going to let you guys try some. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. I'm going from hectograms, that's the H, to grams, which is my base unit. So this time I'm going to the right 1, 2 spaces. So here's my decimal place. I'm going to the right 1, 2 times. Okay? So this would be 460 grams. Anytime you have a blank space and you're like, I don't know what number that is, it's a 0. Okay? Let's do another one. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Grams are your base unit. Kilograms are your K over here. I'm going from the base unit to the kilograms. I have a little arrow to show you where I'm going. So that means I'm moving my decimal to the left. 1, 2, 3 spaces. So here's my decimal. I'm moving 1, 2, 3 spaces. So this would be 0.231 kilograms. Alright, now that you've seen me do them a lot of times, there are 6 of them for you to try here. So I'm going to let you guys just have a moment to try it on your own. In part E, you get to go from 6,007 liters to kiloliters. F, you get to go from 23 decaliters to liters. In G, you're going 2.5 liters to centiliters. In H, you're going from 5.2 liters to milliliters. I is going 42,000 milliliters to centiliters. And J, you're doing 0.412 kiloliters to milliliters. So let's try all of those unit conversions. I want you to pause your video and try all 6 of them. And then when you're done trying all 6 of them, unpause your video. And I will give you the answers here in 3, 2, 1. For part E, you should get 6.007 kiloliters. For F, you should get 230 liters. For G, you should get 250 centiliters. In H, you should get 5,200 milliliters. In I, you should get 4,200 centiliters. And in J, you should get 412,000 milliliters. How'd you do? Hopefully you did all right. If not, please ask me questions if you need to. Have a great week.